Well, good morning, YouTube. This is our first video for Verdigris Market Garden, and so those of you who don't know, we are a urban farm and market garden that is in Columbus, Ohio, and we're going to give you a quick tour of our beginning market garden that lies just behind the garden gate. So as we come in, I will give you a quick pan of the entire garden. This is approximately a quarter of an acre that we are establishing to provide, fresh organic fruits and vegetables to the Columbus market. So it's very cool to watch everything come together. But as we go through, you'll see that we have an arch that we created with pear trees that we're espaliering to create a kind of a fun, welcoming spot for the garden. And ahead of that, we've got some beds here. This one is an empty one, but it's going to be housing more blueberry bushes. And then to the right, we do have blueberry bushes established, and we've started to mulch those with pine needles because they need quite a bit of acid. Just beyond, we have asparagus that we are growing. And this third bed here will be a third different type of asparagus. We're going to be growing Mary Washington, Jersey Giant, and then a French variety that actually comes up pink. Should be very interesting. And we're starting a sheet mulch project as well. There's a lot of grass and a lot of weeds on this plot. Although there's never been a home, there's still quite a bit of bad dirt. So we're going to be putting cardboard over everything and sheet mulching between the beds. A sad sight is that this is the first frost morning, so you can see that our peppers that we've been growing, the leaves themselves have been kind of wilted by the frost, and it effectively is killing the plant, so we need to pull all of those peppers, but we'll have lots of peppers to eat this winter, as well as over here. Take you through, we are going to be building some polytunnels in these areas, kind of a vast, it's about 35 feet. We'll be putting some polytunnels in there, maybe some different types of grow beds, things that we can use for season extension and season starting, and keep things protected and add heat to them, like tomatoes and cucumbers and things like that. And this is our shed. We purchased this spring, and it's great. It is spacious enough, and I think it's really cute. We'll show you quickly inside, and it's a bit messy, but it's quite large, and it holds all of our tools and potting bench and more tools and some display items for when we're actually selling at the market garden, and lots of wood over here to be building some raised beds. And I'll be making a video later about how we actually create rather inexpensive but quite large raised beds. Coming back through, these are three large beds that are about 18 feet long, and what they will be doing, other than collecting a lot of weeds, which we'll be taking care of shortly, is growing berries. And in this bed, we've got multiple varieties of blackberries. And in this bed over here, we've got multiple varieties of yellow or golden raspberries. And then finally over here, we've got red raspberries, different varieties, and of course, lots of varieties of weeds. Coming back to this area, we put posts in because we're going to be experimenting with grapes. We're probably going to be doing some varietal wine grapes just to do some tests on them to see if we can do that for a planned expansion maybe in the coming years. And then along the back here, we've got multiple apple trees. So we're starting off doing perennial type of fruits and vegetables to make sure that we've got them established when we want to start selling them. And so we've got 5 different varieties of apple trees, heritage varieties, and then I'll walk you over to the plums and whatnot. But what we've decided to do, instead of heavily mulching or augmenting the soil in this area, is that we're growing a lot of comfrey. And this is, comfrey is a great plant to plant by trees, particularly in poor soil situations, because comfrey's roots go so deep that they pull up nutrients, and then those nutrients are stored in the leaves. And as that spreads around these plants, it's very easy to then mulch with the comfrey leaves. You basically just chop them down and lay them around, and it helps build better soil. These are some of the raised beds that we've built thus far. They're made of cedar plank and then also treated 2x4s. I don't really like the treated 2x4s, but they're such a small trace amount that they work very well for this type of application. And we'll show you how to build those in a little bit. We recently built a greenhouse on the site, and this is a kit greenhouse, and I won't open the doors right yet, but you can see in that we've got established shelves and a gravel floor, and we built this up on 4x6 planks treated. That way we didn't have to really dig down in a foundation, and we've sunk the bolts that are holding down the timber pretty deep, about 12 inches into the ground. One of the interesting things about this particular site is that we are going to be doing this without electricity, without commercial electricity, at least to start, and without commercial water as well. And so the greenhouse itself is outfitted with solar panels. This is a 100-watt system. Should be plenty to provide somewhat slight heat, and also airflow for fans and whatnot within the greenhouse, also with some lights for some of the winter gardening that we're going to be doing. And we also put rain barrels on the greenhouse, 2 of them in fact, and those collect the water from the roof there, so we don't have to use commercial water. And then also what we've recently completed is this rain catchment system that we built ourselves, and we're soon to be attaching it to a 550-gallon tank. So with our current rain barrel situation and this tank, we can harvest approximately 750 gallons of water from a good rain. And we'll be adding some additional extenders, possibly extended off of the large tank or off of the rain barrels. The shed is also outfitted with rain barrels, and the shed is also outfitted with solar. So we can run our fan in there in the summertime, and obviously for frosty days, if we had to, we could use heat in there. And most importantly, it helps charge our electric tools. So we're not using any gas-powered tools or anything here. And we'll walk you over to the soon-to-be compost heap. So we're trying to work on that as well. We're building these out of pallets, and being able to generate our own compost will really help the soil fertility here at Verdigris. In addition to the apple trees that I showed you, we are also going to be doing a variety of plums. So this is a Shiro plum. It's yellow. It's very, very pretty. And then another starkling delicious plum right there. And ahead of it is an all-in-one self-fertile almond tree. So that should be exciting in the next couple of years to see what we can harvest from that. These posts that are driven in the ground right now are going to be home to our beehives. So we'll be creating a shelter for those beehives, very similar to the rain catchment in that shape, so that actually will collect water, and it will also protect the beehives themselves from harsh weather and from snowfall. Rounding out here, we've got some additional beds that actually we bought these, and I'm very excited for them. They go together in just minutes, and they're from the Lifetime Product Company, and they snap together in about 2 minutes each, and they create 4x4 raised beds, and they're great to just plunk down over some cardboard and fill with dirt and go and start growing. We'll eventually have 4 beehives here at the garden, and this is another set of those stakes that we'll be building out. We also added 2 cherry trees. One is what's called a 2-in-1, so it grows both a red and a yellow cherry. And then in the far corner here, we have it's a pie cherry, so it's a bit of a tart cherry. So that should be exciting to create jams and jellies, and also to sell those fresh to people who want to make jams and jellies or pies. So it should be pretty good as far as production in the next couple of years. This area right now, which is actually where we had some of our dirt brought in, and we will be having some more brought in here before the winter sets in, this area will eventually be perennial vegetable beds. So the plan is to put in sorrel and a couple of other types of maybe good King Henry and a few other beds that will create perennial vegetables, things that come back every year, so that we don't have to seed and plant and do that type of thing. So that about concludes the tour. We'll be making some, like I said, videos for later about beds and how to create those, and we'll show you how to do that later. So from myself and my husband here at Verdigris Market Gardens, thanks for watching.